So Rose McGowan has put Oprah on blast.
We seemingly suggested in the caption that Oprah knew the Hollywood producer was mistreating women.
And if we make this just about Harvey Weinstein, then we will have lost this moment.
How they eat, that is not bullshit. They love the taste of human butts and they drink human blood.
So there's secret rooms. They got secret rooms.
Go on, tell me, how do I find a secret?
So when you go in the secret rooms, because they hide it in loads of places, they tie string around and then they put it all around the body, but they're naked, and they got this tattoo on the private with it's piercings.
So in worshiping the devil, participated in human sacrifice rituals and cannibalism.
Ritualistic behaviors.
Putting girls in the suitcases.
Yo, so why am I hearing that Oprah had a school for girls and all of them are missing?
Buddy, these are my girls. These are my girls.
50 Cent just pulled the pin on a grenade, and this time he's not aiming at a random rival. He's pointing straight at the top of the power pyramid. In a series of comments that lit up social media, 50 Cent suggested that some of the biggest names in entertainment have been shielded for years, and he's putting Oprah Winfrey right in the middle of that conversation. For months, he's questioned why certain powerful figures never seem to face consequences, even as victims connected to Jeffrey Epstein say their voices were buried. Now, with newly unsealed documents putting fresh scrutiny on elite circles, 50 Cent is drawing a line between celebrity influence and what he calls a culture of protection. This all comes after he teased a possible documentary centered on Jay-Z, whose name surfaced in recently released Epstein-related records. He didn't make direct accusations, but he made something very clear. He's watching who gets mentioned and who doesn't. What makes this explosive is that Oprah Winfrey's name has also appeared in Epstein-related documents. That alone proves nothing. But in an environment where proximity matters, people are starting to connect dots. And let's be honest, 50 Cent and Oprah Winfrey have never exactly been allies. So when he talks about protection at the top, the question isn't just who he means. It's what he thinks was hidden and who helped keep it that way. Let's break it down.
A couple of pets as well. A dog and a cat with interesting names, to say the least.
That's Oprah.
That's Oprah.
Named after the Oprah, and your cat's name is?
And Gail.
But they all, okay.
Jay-Z always tops the list in these explosive convos. He and 50 have been at each other's throats forever. That beef runs deep. The latest Epstein dump puts Jay-Z in a 2019 FBI tip-line report. An anonymous caller claims they woke up in what felt like Epstein's mansion back in '96, right there with Jay-Z and Harvey Weinstein. For plenty of folks, this doesn't shock. Look at his ties to Diddy. 50 roasted Diddy nonstop after his arrest. Not just memes, but a full doc in the works. That shows how dead serious 50 is about exposing industry rot. Yet Jay-Z, radio silence on Diddy's mess, despite their tight bond for years. That quiet rubs people wrong. Layer on the whispers. Jay-Z allegedly starting with Beyoncé underage, his past with Foxy Brown at 16. These claims get denied but never fully fade. Then there's the enigma of Kathy White, rumored to be carrying his kid before her sudden death. And just last year, a lawsuit hit Jay-Z and Diddy for assaulting a 13-year-old. Both deny it flat out. Stack these accusations and perceptions shift, guilty or not.
Bombshell footage has surfaced from Africa, where Jay-Z has been accused of running child safaris for Jeffrey Epstein's VIP associates and the global elite.
Oh, you put that thing on them.
You see what we do here on Saturday. This is what it is.
So how does Oprah fit into this web? Oprah Winfrey and Jay-Z built a flashy alliance starting with his 2009 spot on her show.
I've been known for not being a big fan of rap music because of misogynist lyrics and because of the use of the N-word. You obviously feel differently. And a little bit.
She hyped him up big time, called him magnetic, and said he flipped her whole take on hip-hop. When 50 blasts protection at the top, eyes turn to bonds like that. Then factor in Harvey Weinstein. Jay-Z and his Roc Nation crew inked deals with Weinstein's company, pitched as bold storytelling on big issues. But post-2017, when Weinstein's assault scandals exploded, every connection got dissected under a microscope.
Jay-Z and Beyoncé's home searched amidst recent allegations.
Tonight, the Department of Justice releasing their final batch of files
And the millions of newly released Justice Department records
connected to the late convicted senator Jeffrey Epstein.
They include Epstein's messages with powerful messages.
When he finds yelled at me, you're the only one who ever yelled at me, kind of me. I'd take it anytime for view. I want to see him get it.
In your thoughts on Donald Trump and what it means for what it means for mass incarceration.
You know what? This is a labor of love for Jay, and as a result, he's my friend. We're going to talk about that and nothing else.
Well, then can I ask about mass incarceration? Do you think the movement's just...
What did it say Jay-Z did? He was there in 1996? Come on, people.
Here's a detail that slips past most. In October 2017, Weinstein's public mea culpa mangled a supposed Jay-Z line from 444. "I'm not the man I thought I was, and I better be that man for my children." Trouble is, that quote's nowhere in the track or album. Media outlets shredded him for it. So now Weinstein's pulling Jay-Z into his crumbling apology, botching lyrics in the chaos of massive allegations. When the floodgates opened on Weinstein, Oprah, who'd been all smiles with him at events, dubbed it a watershed moment.
After the 54-year-old singer shared this meme of Oprah kissing Harvey Weinstein on Wednesday that read, "When you have been part of the problem for decades, but suddenly they all think you're the solution." He seemingly suggested in the caption that Oprah knew the Hollywood producer was mistreating women, writing, "You'd heard the rumors, but you had no idea he was actually serially assaulting young starry-eyed actresses."
Folks didn't buy that phrasing. It smacked of spin control. With years of cozy photos and chats between Oprah and Weinstein, her response got picked apart. Closeness isn't guilt, no doubt. But in talks of elite shields, it keeps surfacing. That drags in another constant: Bill Clinton. This ain't online gossip. Docs back it up. Clinton logged flights on Epstein's jet, multiple international hops from 2002 to 2003. Break him into segments, and his name hits 26 times, though many were linked trips. The number stuck like glue. Destinations: Bangkok, Brunei, Rwanda, Russia, China. Ghislaine Maxwell, listed as GM, appears on some too. Old pics show Epstein and Maxwell at a Clinton-era White House event. Epstein even funneled cash to Clinton's fundraisers. Clinton's camp owns the flights, said it was foundation biz, no clue on Epstein's crimes and 0 island visits. Oprah? She's grilled Clinton in interviews, hosted him, shared stages. All chummy. Doesn't prove squat, but in chats on who elevates who in power circles, it fuels the fire. And from there, the trail leads straight to Bill Gates. No speculation, just documented ties reported for years.
I was foolish to spend time with him. I was one of many people who regret ever knowing him. Every minute I spent with him, I regret and I apologize that I did that.
There's some really weird details coming out about Bill Gates' rocky relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. One day, Epstein is offering to get Bill Gates a Nobel Peace Prize through his connections, and then the next day he's blackmailing Gates about his affair.
Tying it back to Oprah fast. She's interviewed Bill Gates, spotlighted him in her elite philanthropy world. Same vibe people hammer on. Power players in the same orbits, polishing each other's halos. With Gates, the Epstein connection's concrete. He admitted multiple meets from 2011 to 2014, including at Epstein's NYC pad. Gates insists it was all charity talk, health initiatives, fundraising dinners. No island trips, and his foundation swears no payouts to Epstein. Still it lingers. Melinda French Gates went public saying he owes answers on those hangs, calling it a divorce factor back to 2011 concerns.
Questions remain there of what I can't even begin to know all of it. Those questions are for those people and for even my ex-husband. They need to answer those things.
And we can't skip Richard Branson. He's popped up in Epstein reports and docs over time. 2013 comms show interactions. His team claims it was group or biz stuff, cut off once Epstein's darkness hit. Proximity again. Enter Oprah. She's interviewed Branson, praised him, shared spotlights, just like with Jay-Z, Clinton, Gates. When 50 hits on elites guarding elites, it's not abstract. It's this web of billionaires, media titans, politicos, moguls. Per 50, Oprah knew plenty and zipped her lips.
I also met Jeffrey Epstein exactly one time. I regretted it from the second I stepped in the door. I had nightmares about it afterwards.
So you're sitting down there having cocktails while Bill Clinton's getting a massage from some girl who's rubbing her tits against the back of his head, whether knowingly or unknowingly having sex with underage girls. Everybody thought maybe some guys, that was their thing. As it seemed like with Epstein, that was his thing.
Joe Rogan just dropped a bombshell on his pod. Some of his own buddies showed up in the Epstein files. This hits after the DOJ unloaded a massive trove. Over 3 million pages, 2,000 videos, nearly 180,000 photos from Epstein probes. Heavy redactions, blurred faces, but the pattern screams. Politicos, tycoons, CEOs, even UK royals tangled with Epstein post-conviction. Not flukes. These are logs, emails, lists, depots, footage of the same big shots orbiting him endlessly.
Out of all the information that's getting disclosed, supposedly this administration, what do you have the least faith that we're going to come to
Epstein,
conclude?
for sure.
Epstein.
And I think it's because of Israel. I think that because when you really dig into Epstein, his entire network was Israel. It was clearly, like Ehud Barak was the ex-prime minister and the ex-head of Israeli intelligence. Leslie Wexner was one of the most powerful pro-Israeli philanthropists. The whole organization was Israel. So I'm not saying it was all of Israel.
It was all an intelligence gathering, and
it was targeting Americans. It was targeting American officials and the American president.
Right.
And the CIA does have interest in those targets too. Elements in the CIA does. Certainly they had help from the CIA, and certainly they had help from these other organized crime and intelligence operations. But you don't, so for example, Dan Bongino, the new, deputy director of the FBI? He recently had this clip that went all around where he said on camera that he had a source that he trusted deeply. And he's an informed guy. He was at a Fox News interview, and the source told him that Epstein was working for an intelligence agency in the Middle East. And I don't know which one, but someone in the Middle East. And to be fair, we all already knew this. We already know who he worked for. At least I think so. But I'm looking at, okay, Dan, so if this giant group of Jewish billionaires is running a sex trafficking operation targeting American politicians and business people and stuff, you think they're working with an Arab or Muslim nation in the Middle East? You think that Leslie Wexner is devoting his entire life to philanthropies on behalf of Israel, but then he's going to work for Saudi Arabia when he's doing this traffic?
What's chilling? Rogan says whispers about Little St. James reached him ages before the scandal broke. Alex Jones tipped him off decades back, claiming it wasn't elite paradise but a trap island for compromising the powerful. Rogan brushed it off as wild then. Now that dismissal haunts him as the real horror.
House Democrats released those emails obtained from the Epstein estate, showing the convicted sex offender discussing Trump and seeming to suggest he had information he never shared. In a 2011 exchange with his co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein writing the quote, "dog that hasn't barked is Trump," adding one of his victims spent hours with Trump at Epstein's home, but that Trump had never once been mentioned. Maxwell replying, "I have been thinking about that." House Republicans in the White House identifying the victim as Virginia Giuffre, who once worked at Trump's spa at Mar-a-Lago. Giuffre said she never saw Trump do anything inappropriate. She died by suicide earlier this year. In a 2018 text exchange, someone whose name is redacted wrote to Epstein, "It will all blow over. They're really just trying to take down Trump and doing whatever they can to do that." The context of the message is unclear, but Epstein responding, "It's wild because I am the one able to take him down." Trump and Epstein were friends for more than a decade.
Have you socialized with him?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Have you ever socialized with Donald Trump in the presence of females under the age of 18?
Though I'd like to answer that question, at least today, I'm going to have to assert my 5th, 6th, and 14th Amendment rights.
These fresh docs snap scattered pieces into focus. What's gut-punching? Many names floated years ago, only to get buried as coincidences or gossip. Media shrugged. Now they're resurfacing with timelines, chats, direct Epstein links. Undeniable.
If I had to guess. There's too much circumstantial evidence that leads me to believe that it was an assassination. I know a lot of people think that he committed, a lot of very smart people that I know think he committed, but I'm like, there's too many convenient things. The cut wires, the security cameras rather, not working. They weren't cut, right? They just stopped. They didn't function. Security cameras didn't function. The fact that he had shared a cell with this giant former cop who was a murderer, who had multiple people, just giant roided up cop. This is a cellmate. Like, if you wanted to get somebody, hey, look, bro, extra Twinkies, take this guy out. Like, it wouldn't be hard. He's already killed a bunch of people. He was a drug dealer. You ever see the guy? You ever see the guy who was his cellmate?
No, but it's like
it's kind of hilarious.
It's like when you're a freshman in college and they just put you with somebody you know.
Bro, if you wanted to get someone, you have a high profile witness, okay? High profile witness in the craziest trafficking conspiracy of all time, where a guy who may or may not have been an intelligence asset or an intelligence agent or whatever the fuck he was, for whatever country, this guy he's arrested for trafficking to elites, and then you put him in jail.
Oh my God.
With that guy.
I thought that was the guy that fought Mike Tyson. Remember that dude who read that poem?
Bro, you put him in jail with that guy. All you have to do is get that guy cigarettes and steroids. You tell him, I got you Marlboro Reds and Tren. I got you testosterone replacement for life, even though you're going to still be in jail.
I got you Marlboro and
4 men.
200s.
Dude, he was found guilty of 4 men, and they put him in a cell with Epstein. Look at the size of that savage. Giant muscle-bound, steroided up dude, and they put him in a cell with Epstein, and Epstein got strangled. I'm not Sherlock Holmes, but I think there might be a connection there.
Epstein was probably trying to slurp him. I bet that dude was such a pervert, dude.
Well, if he didn't kill him, then somebody.
I bet he was such a pervert.
I think somebody. Retired Westchester cop charged with and cocaine deal after bodies dug up on his property. Bro, he buried them in his backyard.
Yeah.
That's a crazy mother.
Oh, that's a good gardener, dude.
The file's hottest flashpoint, Bill Gates. A blurred face photo of him with a woman, plus alleged emails where Epstein chats Gates hiding an STD from his wife after Russian model encounters. Gates fired back fast, called it nonsense, said Epstein was smearing him, even cited a 2013 email twisting facts on meds for Melinda. But Rogan pokes holes. If blackmail was in play, why repeated meets? Why the open door? Joe smells a deeper cover story.